Former U.S. President Donald Trump has arrived Manhattan Court in New York City for the commencement of trial of hush money payment in 2016 alleged to be a criminal act of altering business records to cover up a $130,000 paid to adult or porn star film actress Stormy Daniels. The trial begins today with jury selection, which observers said could take up to 2 weeks because of the large pool of prospective jurors. The trial marks the first time in history that a former U.S. president would be tried on criminal charges. The case, it's gathered to be the first of 4 criminal prosecutions against former President Donald Trump to make it to trial, with this one centering around allegations that Trump allegedly falsified business records to conceal an agreement with others to unlawfully influence the 2016 presidential election, according to pretrial court filings. Donald Trump at the court on Monday described the hush money case against him as an assault on America, as he arrived at the court ahead of the historic trial. The former U.S. president is accused of criminally altering business records to cover up a $130,000 payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels, real name Stephanie Clifford, during his 2016 election campaign. It would be recalled that Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal, who was paid $150,000, both claimed to have had affairs with Trump. According to Sky News, his lawyers say the payment was meant to spare himself and his family embarrassment, not to help him win the election. Speaking as he arrived at the Manhattan court, Trump said, "Nothing like this has ever happened before. It should never be brought. It's an assault on America, an assault on our country, a country that's failing. It's an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is. So I'm very proud to be here." Trump then continued to attack U.S. President Joe Biden and repeated claims that the trial is political persecution, saying, "It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who is very much involved in this case." It marks the first of 4 indictments against the former president to go to trial, and is the first to be held ahead of this year's presidential election. Trump faces 2 other criminal trials accusing him of trying to subvert his 2020 election loss to Mr. Biden, and another that accuses him of mishandling classified information after he left the White House in 2021. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges against him. No other former U.S. president has ever faced criminal charges. Michael Cohen, Trump's former personal lawyer, said he coordinated with Trump on payments to Daniels and to McDougal. Cohen pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations in 2018 in relation to the payments and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. He was released into house arrest after 1 year. Donald Trump, speaking few minutes ago on Facebook, wrote and stated in quote, "When I walk into that courtroom, I know I will have the love of 200 million Americans behind me, and I will be fighting for the freedom of 325 million Americans." Donald Trump election campaign team had also highlighted the case and stated in quote below, "Biden trial fact sheet. Fact 1. President Trump did nothing wrong. These charges are entirely fabricated in order to interfere in the election and distract from the failed presidency of Joe Biden. Fact 2. This is the Biden trial. It is a full frontal assault on American democracy in service of the interests of Joe Biden's campaign. Fact 3. Democrat District Attorney Alvin Bragg ran for election on prosecuting President Trump. Fact 4. This case is almost entirely reliant on the testimony of convicted felon, disbarred attorney, perjurer and notorious liar, Michael Cohen. Fact 5. Michael Cohen filed a legal motion to reduce his federal criminal sentence that cited AI-generated and completely fake case law to plead his case. He failed. Axios, December 29, 2023. Fact 6. President Trump is the only person who has ever been solely charged with these crimes as standalone felonies. This is an unprecedented abuse of our legal system. Fact 7. DA Bragg sat on this case for years, letting the statute of limitations expire. He manipulated the law to bring forth a new case to interfere in the election on behalf of Joe Biden. Fact 8. Judge Merchan set a bizarre trial schedule for this case. Fact 9. The presiding judge in this case, John Merchan, is a Biden-Harris donor. NY Post, the 4th of July 2023. Fact 10. The American people know a partisan witch hunt when they see one, and they are going to put President Trump back in the Oval Office in November. Richard Oyeda, former state senator, wrote via his Facebook page few minutes ago and stated in quote below. In New York City, jury selection begins in Donald Trump's hush money trial. It's all about the disgraced Orange Jackaloon, facing his first of 4 trials. This one's about a $130,000 secret payment he made to porn star Stormy Daniels before he got elected in 2016. People all over the country are watching closely. The polls show that Democrats mostly think Trump did something wrong, while Republicans mostly think he's innocent. But those who don't belong to either party are unsure who to believe. Here's the surprising part. Even if Trump is found guilty, it will not likely change the vote of the Trump cult in the next election. Many folks who think he's guilty still plan to support him. How stupid is that? For Trump's die-hard fans, he's more than just a politician. He's a hero fighting for them to be the worst possible version of themselves that they can be. But for his critics, he's a danger to democracy. Someone who's breaking the rules and sells out the country for his personal gain. This trial is like a mirror reflecting the political polarization in our country. This trial will likely find Donald Trump guilty and he will probably get convicted. Will Trump's exposure as a perverted degenerate change the Trump faithful's perspective? That may be unlikely because his supporters are just like him, undereducated and relating to life on a third-grade level. And in a bizarre twist, Donald Trump, likening himself to Jesus, peddles $60 Bibles to his loyal followers, further blurring the lines between politics and faith. His self-proclaimed role as the guardian of family values rings hollow in the face of his sordid past and dubious actions. As the trial unfolds, expect nothing short of stormy weather, a tempest of controversy and spectacle swirling around one of the many legal battles surrounding Donald Trump.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.